Hey friends, it's Courtney. Welcome back to my channel Phyrra, where we talk about all things cruelty-free beauty, gothic fashion, mental health, and lifestyle. If that's stuff you want to be talking about, make sure you click that subscribe button so we can chat about it together. So today's video is a mental health video, and I'm going to be talking about the top 10 techniques for self-soothing. So if you have anxiety disorder and PTSD, which I do, one of the things that I have learned in therapy to help counter that is self-soothing. And so I wanted to talk about some of these self-soothing techniques with you. Yes, of course, there is medication you can take. I take buspirone daily, which is it's a pill. I take 2 pills at night, 1 pill in the morning, and that just usually keeps me nice and stable during the day. I also use medical marijuana to help control my anxiety, etc. But there are other things that you can do that will help. So one of the top soothing techniques that I have learned for myself that helps is sensory deprivation. I understand that this is not something everyone likes to do, but if I feel super overwhelmed and like I'm having a panic attack or I'm going to have a panic attack, one of the things that I will sometimes do is close my eyes, cover my ears, and kind of hide my face in Ray or Dave's chest, just to kind of shut out the world and try and calm down. And usually when I'm doing that, I'm listening to their heartbeat and just trying to focus on that one thing. So I recommend trying sensory deprivation. I recommend taking hot baths. I find hot water and hot baths specifically to be very soothing. So that's something that I do a lot when I'm stressed. Another technique, and this is one of the things that my therapist strongly recommended that I do whenever my grandmother, who was like my mother, passed away, was to buy a rocking chair swing thing and rock in that. And she said this is because it mimics being inside the womb, and it is a very comforting feeling to us. So I have one of those chairs that I use, and it's outside my house, so I just basically go outside and I get fresh air, and I'm rocking myself in the chair and just kind of chilling. So that is another thing that I would recommend. Let's see, next on my list would be to pet your pets. Now, this probably sounds like a no-brainer, but it's been scientifically proven that petting your animal for at least 5 minutes helps to reduce stress and anxiety. So I pet the dogs all the time. When I'm starting to actually feel anxious, Nyx actually will, I guess she smells it, but she has learned to come up and lay on my lap and basically press her body against me as a comforting weight. Or sometimes she'll sit on my foot and lean her entire body against me, which I love. So you can definitely rely on your pet as a way to help soothe you. I don't know if you are like me, but one of the reasons that I've hit gratitude journaling and biohacking so hard is that I had a very negative inner voice that was constantly putting me down all of the time. Basically, it would take any neutral to slightly negative to really negative comment that I would read about myself, and it would play that in my head over and over again. I would hear my mom's voice, just all kinds of terrible stuff. So I had this horrible voice that I was constantly dealing with. And in therapy, I learned that I should basically counter that voice with how I would talk to my best friend. So I talk to myself internally like I'm talking to one of my best friends. I would never tell my best friend, well, you're an idiot. So instead, I would say it in a kinder fashion of, hey, this maybe wasn't the best decision, but here's what we learned from the situation, and here's how we can move forward. Basically, I guess you would call that maybe positive self-talk or whatever, but it's basically, I would recognize that I was getting into these downward thought spirals and counter it like that. So that's another good self-soothing technique. Next to my list would be deep breathing. I think deep breathing and meditation are probably also things people hear all the time. And there's something specific about just closing your eyes and trying to sit with good posture, breathing in, holding it, breathing out. You can feel the tension melt off you. So if you take a couple very deliberate deep breaths where you're breathing into the count of 3, you hold it to the count of 3, and then you exhale to the count of 3, I find that to be very calming. Another self-soothing technique of mine, and this is actually one of the things that I learned not only from therapy but from my friend Carly, is if you have something that you're afraid of or that's really causing you to panic, go ahead and to get out a pen and paper and write down what's the worst thing that could happen, and then work your way through to what's the best thing that could happen, what's the most likely to happen. So basically you're running through worst case to best case scenarios, and by doing that I find it calms me down and it makes my brain start to look at things more rationally. I pull back for the bird's eye view, and then I can be a little bit calmer. So I think that's a really great self-soothing technique. Other things that people have recommended to me would be a weighted blanket. Dave has a weighted blanket he bought. I've tried it. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it doesn't. And it seems like sometimes it actually causes me to panic more, and other times it's just fine. So I feel like depending on what causes your anxiety, it could work for you or it could help. Also on my list would be exercise. And I don't mean like, I mean, obviously you can totally hardcore exercise if you want, but I mean like just taking a walk or walking the dogs, or doing something that'll like let you get kind of outside of your head to not think about whatever's causing the panic for a few minutes. And sometimes for me, like playing Beat Saber is a great way to do that, because I just get so immersed into the VR game that that's just all I can think about. Oh, and one of the last things on the list is hugging yourself, which this sounds really dumb, but if you don't have somebody who can hug you, try hugging yourself. Hold yourself for like 30 to 60 seconds and close your eyes while you're doing it, and just think about the feeling of being held and safe and warm while you're doing this. And that's another thing that can be a really good self-soothing technique. So yeah, I hope that you find these self-soothing techniques helpful. Let me know what self-soothing techniques you use, or have you even tried self-soothing? If you like this video and want to see more mental health videos, please give it a thumbs up and share. I love it when you share my videos. It really, really helps me out, and it tells YouTube that my videos are worthwhile, and then YouTube will show them to other people. So I appreciate it. If you're wondering what to watch next, check over here, because I'm going to suggest some more mental health videos. And if you're not interested in that, click over here, because I'll have some makeup tutorials. Thanks so much for watching, friends. I'll see you next time. Bye.